Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. I'm your host Chris Dices, and it's been a long day at GAMMA.CON for 2018. This is an NNN show, another episode of it as we give opinions and thoughts. And this one is obviously about the Pop Culture Festival. Now, we're only halfway through it, but I think I've taken in enough to get a general vibe of all the big changes. This is sort of like a new software patch. There's been a whole lot of new stuff added to it over the last year. New venue, new features and things like that, which is excellent. And I've gotten some thoughts and notes about it too here. So the venue has changed a few times over the years. And it's gone from the Hellenic Club, which was pretty small and tight. That was not fun sometimes. This is now quite a few, 3-4 years ago. And it went to the ASI, which was a larger place, but still it was a little tricky to get to up and down stairs and things like that, but it was well organised and structured and that. And then we went to Epic this year, currently so far. And the spacing is much, much larger, and they've expanded a lot in the different features and things that you can do. Where I think one of the comments last year about the event was, and I probably agreed with, was that you would only need something like an hour to 2 hours to see everything at GAMMA.CON, and you would be pretty much okay with that, and you would go home. And I kind of understood that. Like, technically, it'd probably take longer than that if you wanted to see every single detail, but like all the main things that you wanted to see. So there's definitely more space and it's easier to access. Public transport's not too bad. There is light rail construction and that around it, so it should be better next year. And I guess, as the title goes, I'm dropping things at the moment. As the title goes, I think this year is their coming of age, where GAMMA.CON actually seems like a grown-up event. And that's not bagging out the event, saying that the previous years were, crappy or anything like that. It was just a small event, like, small to medium-sized event that it felt like, it was an intimate sort of Canberra event because we're small city and all that sort of stuff. I think I probably said last year or the year before that it's going to take GAMMA.CON a few years for it to build up and build up. And I think the impressive thing is how it's sort of gone from this to it's sort of bulked up a lot in the last year. And obviously one of the main things, and that's why it comes across as a mature event. There's a lot of different sort of pieces and rooms now. And the biggest one was the larger video game section. So, I go in and I see your general stuff, and I go, there's where all the stores are, and I go, there's a pretty good range. There's a lot of different stores there, and I see one of the stages, and I go, that's not too bad, and kids' corner and that, and I go, that's a pretty good idea, all that sort of thing. And you go through the sort of middle part again, you come out the other side, and this whole big video game section, and I saw the arcades, and I was like, that looks so cool. I'm gonna go play with them. I wanted to go off and play them, but I thought, no, I've got to swoop around the place and see what I should start filming. So I can't quite have too much fun when I'm doing the whole filming, because I'm sort of working in a way, hobby work. So I saw the arcades, like, and I saw the retro section. I was like, hang on, this looks better than previous years. I think it might be a new mob that's doing it from South Australia. Because the retro stuff was always a little bit, maybe a bit limited. It would have your general retro games, retro consoles that you know about. But these had the real obscure ones, even one that I didn't know of. Which was really good, and they have a great selection of games there for people to play. And they even had portable gaming too, Game Boys and the Atari one, and I'll remember what it is after this video. But they had a whole range of that sort of stuff, and that was really, really good, and I was very, very impressed and happy about that. And they had the modern games too, VR and Fortnite was there, a whole bunch of kids were playing that. And they also had, Xbox and PlayStation 2 and probably PlayStation 4 playing something. And they had the little tournaments for under 12s. They had Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which we did some filming for the movie. And Smash Brothers is obviously there. And Mario Kart 2, I guess, is appearing at some point at GAMMA.CON for this. But yeah, and they had the esports, the Reload esports, which is sort of club or something. I know it's partly to do with the bar and internet cafe thing that they have here in Canberra, and that looked quite professional and nice, and they just sort of felt like, all those sort of things, and they had like a cosplay section up on the top for people to have a chill out and fix their clothes and things like that, which was great. And it felt like it's sort of, the event has sort of matured now. There's now quite a lot of things to see and do now, and I think that's going to have a good effect on people and that, because people say, oh yeah, this is like a legit good event now. Yeah, it's like, there's a lot of stuff to do, and lots of video games, and cosplay is excellent, and sort of, yeah, I think you might see more interstate people taking it more seriously, and they go, oh, people in Sydney and Melbourne and things like that. So you might see more interstate visitors in the future if it keeps on getting promoted. And I still know, I think one of the downsides is that probably still needs a bit of promotion. There's still, people who don't know about it. Some people thought this was the first year it was being run. And I was like, no, it's been around for a few years now. And he was a bit surprised in that. But people who went the first time seemed pretty happy with the event so far. So I think that's the big important thing that has come out of that. And I think with the video game section, because obviously there's great things going on with the cosplay stuff and lots of good guests and that. I don't know any of them, unfortunately, but they seem like really good people, and it seems like they're fun. But with the video game section, it always felt like not so an afterthought with GAMMA.CON, but it was always sort of stuck in the small room, the small section. And now you have sort of this big store / cosplay area. Now you have this big video game / area. They even had the professional wrestling sort of thing in the corner too, which was quite different. I was like, oh, this is a bit different, but it's pop culture, so it's sort of a little bit of everything gets thrown into the mixing bowl. And you had the board games and things like that. And that was a little bit quiet. And maybe because there were more video games and that to do. And with board games, you've got to dedicate an X amount of certain time, and you don't know how long that could last. But there was also Warhammer painting too, which was cool. So overall, I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. So really, I think this year was really its coming of age in terms of just drop that, in terms of the events having a lot of things to do, and just feels like it's grown up. It's in the right location now, I feel. It's got a really sort of meaty section for video games now, and cosplay, and the stores where you can buy stuff and things like that. And just sort of feels like it's getting to a point where it's a really good event now, and could be one of the maybe tourist attractions for Canberra, during August period and during that winter period, something to go out and do. Yes, it is a bit cold going out there and back, and maybe it would be nice for it to be in warmer months, but it's a great event, and it still keeps on going. So I was impressed. I was happy, because I was a bit glum probably the last few days, and I was thinking, GAMMA.CON, that could be good, I wasn't too sure what it was going to be like, but yeah, I was impressed and happy, and sort of like, oh, good, lots of good things to film, and lots of exciting things to check out video game wise. So I think things have turned out, and who are the people who does this sort of stuff? Apparently this is not done by magic, this sort of stuff. So I guess these people, they horrifically don't have surnames. That's probably for privacy stuff. But all these people have done a pretty good job of running an event. So I couldn't do it, probably because I'm just too lazy to be honest. I mean, I struggle enough doing this channel. So GAMMA.CON 2018 is doing very well. I expect it to go swimmingly well tomorrow. And then next year beyond to even bigger things, bigger crowds and more exciting guests and things. And I don't know where you go from here, but I think it's just going to get better and better. So that is my NNN show, and you'll be seeing more coverage of GAMMA.CON 2018 and anything else that sort of pops up Nintendo news-wise, of course. So that is it for me, and I shall see you later on.